The EDDY RAY experience, live streaming, video games, over the top, one of a kind, YouTube and Facebook gaming. It's interactive, it's energetic. You always know just what you're getting. It's entertaining, astonishing, it's so amazing. EAA with EDDY RAY, with EDDY RAY. and play, stream away, rated E for everyone. Subscribe so you don't miss the fun. You're sitting on the edge of your seat, so anxious you're clenching your teeth when he's shooting with his fantasy team. And paladins, the champions. You don't wanna miss this. Put them in your subscriptions. Rated E for EDDY RAY. Watch him play, stream away. Rated E for everyone. Subscribe so you don't miss the fun.
Down, joined here by Bala TW, and it is going to be an incredible day.
That it is. Over 30 countries are represented here today in the World Cup Finals. And I mean, this entire weekend has been amazing. It has had some of the most amazing Fortnite action. And this is the best of competitive Fortnite. So we're going to go ahead. We already did crown the World Champions duo in Nyrox and Aqua.
And it was very well-deserved from there. Don't forget about the Creative Championship and the Pro-Am that kicked it all off on Friday. We saw the Fish Fam take it away. And then, of course, the cooler duo of Aqua and Nyrox, crediting the boot camp, all of their practice put in. The first half of the games were rough. The back three, Victory Royale, top 5 with 2 clutch eliminations coming out of Aqua to push them in to that top spot. And we'll be seeing Aqua here again today, Bala.
That we will. We'll see if he's going to be able to repeat some of the magic that he did yesterday, but he's not the only person. We have 100 more players, and they all competed over 5 weeks of solo qualifiers. We have already awarded $6 million over the course of those qualifiers, and 40 million players competed to try to qualify for this day right now. Only 100 players remain.
And they're all fighting for their share of the $15 million prize pool. We've already given away $18 million between the creative and the duos competition yesterday, as well as the charity portion for the Pro-Am, and they all want to be in that top spot. First place walking away with $3 million in prize money, but for most of them, it's about the title. They want to be in the top spot. They want the clout. They want the recognition. They want to say, I am the ultimate Victor Royale.
So we're going to go ahead and join the players on the floor in the Arthur Ashe Stadium. They're ready. We're going to go ahead with our first group of contestants. It is Booga, Bizzle, Commandment, Vivid, Cease, Snow, Riverson, Leleo, and Dubs.
Now, these were the players who qualified out of NA East, NA West, and Brazil during the first week. The ones who rose to the occasion right away, cemented themselves in there, and didn't have to worry about it. And right away, how can you not call out the NA East Titans of Bizzle, Vivid, and Cease? Been around forever, and Cease, more importantly, we said he deserved more recognition. He was one of the best, and what did he do yesterday? 3rd place with Elevate. He's looking ready to go, but Dubs is also ready. Him and Mega had an incredible performance yesterday, and they're looking to represent on the stage.
Yeah, so we'll see if he's going to be able to do that. Of course, at the top of the list is Booga. A lot of people are looking forward to see what he can do on a LAN environment in this stage. See if he can continue the performance he's had in the last couple of weeks. So we're going to continue, though. Dubs had we're going to check in with Jordan Fisher on the floor with Dubs.
Thank you so much, Fortnite family and fans. What's going on? I'm Jordan Fisher. I've got Dubs right here. Dubs, you placed consistently well during the qualifiers, wrangling a 1st, 2nd, and 6th place finish over the course of 3 weeks of solos, and as well, let's go, and placed in the duos as well. Qualified for the duos. How does competing on this stage now compare to yesterday's games?
The energy is insane here, and like it's just the most amazing experience. I love Fortnite.
Fantastic. Well, a lot of people are really excited to see you play today. Now, you and your partner Mega did an incredible job yesterday. Did you guys see them play together yesterday? It was amazing. It was amazing. You placed 7th in the duos competition yesterday. Are you changing up your strategy at all to prepare for today's solo games?
No, I'll pretty much be doing the same strat, playing for late game, trying to get picks, and that's about it.
Great job. Love it. We can't wait to see. Bala, who's next?
Thank you so much,
Jordan Fisher. Appreciate that. Those are our NA East, NA West, and Brazil competition from the first week. We're going to keep moving forward into EU, Oceania, and Asia, starting with Stompy, Prisionero, Bella EU, Letwick, Nate, Diego, DRG, Slaya, Vaxfox, and at the end, Benji Fishy.
And another group that is very top heavy. These were the players who took advantage of it right away. We got to see Stompy yesterday. Not necessarily the performance him and Shinken would have wanted, but he'll be coming out in force today. And then we also definitely need to talk about Vaxfox. His ability to turn heads, qualifying multiple times in the solos format, being so close for duos, and he has, if not the possible highest mechanical ceiling and rifling skills out of any of these solo players.
And then, of course, we also see Slaya down in the bottom middle there. He's been turning heads in the NA scene because he's been here boot camping for a couple of weeks, and he's made a number of clips in terms of his aim. He's one of the best mechanical players for aiming out of OCE. And at the end here, Benji Fishy, what more can you say about him? We're going to go ahead and take a look what his life is like back at home.
My name is Benji Fish. I'm 15 years old. I live in the UK. To master Fortnite, you gotta play a lot.
Benji Fishy trying to punish some of these players.
I'm definitely on par with pretty much every pro.
I love Benji Fish.
I'm very excited to go to World Cup. It's definitely gonna be one of the best things of my life.
Playing for his family, his mom, and trying to do everything he can to make an even bigger name for himself. But speaking of bigger names for themselves, this next group has so many top titles, starting off there with Tfue, and then following it up, Unknown Army, Niddle, Funk, Psalm, Clicks, Epic Whale, Karhu, Lasers, and Kurtz. I mean, Balla. What can we say about these players?
Yeah, a lot of huge names. Of course, we'll start with Tfue. The qualifying run he had in week number 3 was one of the most memorable moments out of the entire Fortnite World Cup online opens. And what a story it was in front of 250,000 people on a stream, no delay, just slayed out and qualified.
It was able to play very well in the LAN environment, has taken that title at TwitchCon. Well, let's not forget about somebody else who was there. You got Funk Bomb, played yesterday on the stage and is looking to continue to roll it forward. Psalm as well, another player who is a big competitive veteran coming from a MOBA background, transitioning into Fortnite and showing his ability to break it down and push the meta farther. And then you have the two young warriors out of Clicks and Epic Whale, known for taking walls, taking names, and pressing forward, doing everything they can to stop their opponents.
Yeah, absolutely. Clicks, one of the players who has fully qualified for both solos and duos. And at the end, Kurtz out of Brazil. We're going to continue forward with him and go ahead and listen to some of the stuff he had preparing for ahead of the competition.
When I play Fortnite, I change my personality. I play very aggressive. If you make a mistake, you will be the victim. Easy, bro. My name is Enrique Kurtz. I'm 14 years old. My name in game is Kurtz.
Well, easy, bro. I like that line most of all out of that entire package. That was amazing. We'll see if it is going to be easy, bro, today. We're going to continue forward, see who's on the floor. It is going to be Lukey, Left Eye, Fleeter Moyes, T-Chub, Core Gaming, Wakey, Dementos, Banny, Takamura, Cat, and LOL Boom.
And another group loaded with talent. LOL Boom in particular, the young Irish lad, qualified in the same week as his duo Core Gaming. They didn't represent in the duos competition. We got to interview both of them and they're excited to be here, excited to represent not only for their countries, but also for their families. And then also looking up there, Left Eye and Dementos have been around the scene for a very long time, since the beginning, have that veteran experience, have been in so many of these very, very top-heavy lobbies. They are going to be comfortable.
Yeah, and I'm also looking at Banny, who was Fax Fox's duos from the previous Asian group, and he is one of the most aggressive players. He also plays tons of high ground, tries to look for tons of eliminations on the high ground. So we'll see how the Asian region and how he performs there with this strategy converts to this stage.
But can't forget about Takamura out of Japan, and then Cat coming from Oceania, two players who are very aggressive. But we talked about LOL Boom, we talked about wanting to represent his family and what it means to him. Let's hear a little bit about that from him.
Hi, my name is Lalbium. I'm originally from Philippines, but I live in Ireland, and I qualified for the solo Fortnite World Cup. Every week was really intense. I didn't expect myself to qualify for the solos. It was just unbelievable. What I love about competitive Fortnite is the players around it. Everyone's so nice. Loads of people are really humble. I don't really feel any pressure on me. I just really focus on this moment and this tournament, and hopefully I do good and bring back home one of the best Fortnite players in the world. I'd like to thank my parents, my brothers especially, and also the viewers that stuck up to me and who are loyal to me, because they're like the only ones that supported me throughout this whole journey, and I'd just like to thank all of them.
It's so nice to see someone just so grateful to be in the position, but continue striving forward. Someone who was originally seen in the skirmishes, but now wants to perform on the main stage. On to our next group, representing out of NA East, NA West, and Brazil. We have Dracons, Road Shark, Colorful, Mega, Bucky, Class, Rux, Pizzas, and Zate.
I just want to talk about Bucky because I know we've talked about it a lot. I know we've talked about on broadcast that video of him qualifying, his dad in the background coaching him, and he's here today by himself. He has performed on the stage before back at the summer block party. He did quite well there and had a good time on the stage, so we'll see. That was a little bit of a less competition. It was for charity. This today is for $15 million total.
And he's going to want to be pushing the pace, particularly against players like this. Class, extremely analytical, keeps a notebook with him at all times and wants to break down his opponent's interaction. We got to see a little bit from Rux and his baseball playing grandfather during the pre-show. He has that competitive bones in his body. He was there every single week. And Mega, great performance again yesterday. Colorful, the one we got to interview on Mother's Day, and he was told, hey, I had to make a deal to even get playing time on the weekends, and now he's going to be on the main stage.
I also, going back to Mega real quick, because he had one of the most memorable moments from yesterday's games when he was playing with Dubs. We actually eliminated Mitro and Mongrel, one of the biggest duos in Fortnite in EU, and that was crazy to be able to do with that mechanical skill, that speed that he did it at.
And he barely even reacted. Now, one player, normally, Bala, you and I are very good about going through, breaking these down, knowing their stories. I know very little about Pizzas. It's so hard to find information on. We got to go through the VOD reviews, but he is somebody in one of the few true wild cards, and I'm very interested to see what happens when you run into him. And now we're going to actually get a chance to talk with Zate, who we saw him and Sap have an amazing performance yesterday. Let's see what he's feeling ahead of the competition. Jordan, what do you have for us?
You are not wrong, Sundown. One of the best and most dominant duo players standing right next to me in Zate. Zate, you dominated yesterday. It's very clear to absolutely everybody, claiming that #1 slot for 5 of the 6 games. Obviously, it's Fortnite, RNG happens, right? But again, going into in-game, you two staying together, locking down high ground, that's ultimately what secured the dub. What was your mentality going into duos yesterday?
So we kept the same mentality, same strategies for every single game. After the 3 games, the 3 first games, we had 38 points, so we're really confident. So we didn't change anything. A lot of unfortunate things happened, so we finished with 6 points in the last 3 games and took up 4th. After being first for 5 games in a row, we really want to win it, so it felt kind of bad, but still.
Understandable. I mean, at the end of the day, though, Fortnite, this is the biggest payouts, right? Like, we're seeing some amazing payouts here. 4th place is still very much a win, I would think, to a lot of people. Now, going into the solos tournaments today, obviously you've been performing very consistently over the course of the last year of Fortnite comps. You're faced up against a lot of incredibly talented players from regions all over the world, and there's a lot of different play styles here. What's your mentality going into some of these fights?
For solos, I'm going to play like I've been playing for the past year. I'm just going to be confident because I play best when I'm confident.
Absolutely. Well, we see this confidence. We're going to see it again today on Real Island. What do you have next for us?
Thank you so much, Jordan. And what's surprising to me there is Zate. I mean, it's not surprising at all, actually. He's a true competitor. He placed in 4th place yesterday, and he's very disappointed about that. You can see it on his face.
Definitely felt it wasn't good enough. He said, hey, we wanted it all. We wanted the top spot. With Zate, we've seen it in the past. That means he's going forward. But now on to our next group, because these competitors are here to also challenge for the top spot. We have Link, Peter Pan, Lechi, Yarkos, Lucia, Mr. Savage, Snazy, Smeeth, Blaster, and Issa.
Yeah, the beginning of this group that you mentioned, Lechi, one of the most amazing controller players I've ever seen out of Germany. And he was so methodical and so good at the end game. It was unbelievable. The tunneling skills and able to be so aware. I can't be more impressed by Lecce.
Yes, and even in the qualification round, he said, hey, I got the spot. He was almost the first controller qualifier to get in, missed it by 1 place. And that next week when he came back to back solo trap eliminations to just flex on the entirety of Europe. Also rounding out the group, somebody we saw yesterday was Klusha. He's going to have the time to be on the stage as well as Mr. Savage. They're there, but let's talk about the other controller player making his first trip over here. It is Ghost Issa, the original controller gang, and we had a chance to talk with him ahead of the competition. Let's hear what he had to say.
So I qualified for solos in week 5. It's been 10 stressful weeks, a lot of ups and downs, but it's been pretty good. When I qualified, I was so happy. I had a rough 10 games. I think I played 5 games out and died like 4 times off spawn. So I was so happy when I qualified. I instantly called my mom and was like, hey, I qualified. I think it's nice that they open qualifiers, literally everyone can qualify. You can be 13 and win millions of dollars, and just everyone is really chill. New York is way different, like even the air, everything is so much different, the traffic, but I love it. Meeting everyone has been the nicest part. My advice would be just keep grinding, that's how you get better. Watch better player play, like watch Mongrel's VODs, whatever, and just keep grinding, that's the only way you can make it.
What an incredible story coming out of Issa, looking to represent and looking to do as much damage as possible. You know he's here to take names. Now on to the next group, where you have a lot of what I would consider dark horse contenders. Very talented players who you don't hear enough about. It's Nyx, King, Clarity G, Astonish, Lunez, Jenkins, Batch, Pika, Storm, and Reverse 2K.
I just want to point out, Astonish's outfit is unbelievably incredible. He has slippers on that have claws on them.
No, those aren't slippers. He's in a full onesie and then has the jersey over it. You can check him out on Twitter. Also known for one of the coolest Flintlock plays we've ever seen. One of my favorite calls, but also have to talk about Nyx and King.
Yes.
They're both playing yesterday in the duels. Didn't necessarily get the results they wanted, but they're both known as much stronger individual players. They play much better when they're able to go crazy and do the game plan that they want to do.
Yeah, and in the bottom right there, you see Storm, also known as 4DR Storm. He's one of the players who fully qualified for both solos and duos, and even with his duo partner, Epic Whale, later on. We do also have Reverse 2K on the bottom half of this group. He is on the floor with Jordan Fisher. What do you got?
Standing next to me is Reverse 2K, one of the most gifted mechanically in terms of his aim, his building sense, his speed. Everything about his gameplay is one that I love and look up to personally, and I think for a lot of people here as well. Now, you've already told us that you're dropping Pressure, which is where you dropped in your qualifying week, which is a very smart move, I think, in my opinion. Now, are you planning on keeping a strict rotation schedule? Are you going to be able to be flexible?
I'm gonna be able to flex more. I know Ninja and I duo spot is Lagoon, so that's my hometown, so we might drop there.
Very comfortable there. Mat up really quickly with some wood right there, those mats. Now another thing that I love about you, Reverse, you're so vocal and so positive in social media, and a lot of people are supporting you and loving you, very much behind you in this journey. How does it feel to have so much support from Fortnite fans and others that are watching your streams and so forth?
It feels amazing. This Fortnite game is definitely a mental game. If you lose your mind, you're going to lose the game, so a lot of sport helps.
Absolutely. Well, we love you, man. I'm excited to see you perform today. Bala, Sundown, who's next?
Thank you so much, Jordan. A lot of people from home rooting for Reverse 2K. He's made quite a fan base, and a lot of people supporting him. We're going to continue forward back in the stadium. We do have our next group, Hood J, Arius. We also have our one of duos champion from yesterday. It's Aqua, and then Martine, Irus, Robabs, Skylar, Kinstar, and Kinzel.
And we can't forget about Quexy and the X2 twins rounding out the group there, but all eyes are on Aqua, and deservedly so. Nyrock said yesterday, hey, we won because Aqua is a beast. Aqua in his interview said, we're just gonna win. And what did he say last night afterward? He's like, you know, might around, mess around and win solos as well. He is about it and he is that skilled. But another player who has that very similar attitude is Eros, somebody who is a controller player, swapped over from console to PC, and I had one fan particularly reach out. He's like, hey, I watch him all the time. He doesn't care about anyone else. Whoever is going, he is flying at them. He wants to be known as one of the most skilled players out there, and then you have to talk about Keemstar.
And at the bottom of that list there, we also have Flexi, who played yesterday in the duos competition. One of the actual fully qualified duos with his partner Letwick, who's playing as well. He's just amazing. His qualifying run actually was one of the most mechanically skilled things I've ever seen, but also what a struggle it was. He had so many setbacks in that week that he qualified that I almost thought that he wasn't going to make it, and it was going to be one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen.
But he was able to clutch up in the end and get to his spot. You see plenty of French representation coming out there. Of course, Keemstar been around from the very beginning, able to compete on the stage as well. Robots up there, and then we have to talk about the X2 twins. Jordan representing down south, known originally as one of the first veterans out there. We're gonna toss it to a quick little video to see kind of what they're all about and what they were thinking about going into the competition.
I'm twins and I'm from Brisbane, Australia. I've played LAN, I've played online, I've played the Australian Open, I've played at Poland internationally. I really like LANs. It's a different setting because there's people actually watching you as opposed to just people watching online. I think I'm definitely getting better with it with the more LANs I do. It doesn't really sink in until you actually land here and you get here like, oh, I'm actually in New York. It is definitely a cool experience. I like to listen to music before I play and try and treat it as if I was at home just playing any other scrim. You've got to put work into it. Sometimes you might have to get a little bit lucky with like qualifying and stuff. Like that's a part of it, but you can create your own luck through grinding and just hard work. It's really cool meeting the people and like experiencing it with them and learning from each other. People that can keep their calm, they definitely come through.
Jordan going to be doing everything he can to push forward and be at the top. And now we're into the qualifiers who qualified in the final week. The week 9 ones, the last chance qualifiers. When everything was on the line, they made it here. It's Clipnote, Cosmic, Tuzi, Aspect, Hornet, Creo, Legedian, Harrians, Evil Mare, and Arkram 1X.
Clipnote, one of the players out of Brazil who, you know, he was there every single week, just in the top 10, not quite reaching that final top 1 spot, which is how many spots are up per week for Brazil, but he finally did it in the final week. That shows he is clutch.
Yes, the Argentinian was all about it, and we have to talk about Aspect. Him and Anna were the original favorites going into the qualifiers, kind of slid off the pace a little bit, had to swap up their drop spot. In the final week, he rocketed up in the lead with 60 points, but the issue was he finished his games early. Everyone else had an extra half hour. He had to sit there watching the leaderboard for an hour, but when all was said and done, he got the final spot. He'll be playing on that stage, and he'll be looking to take everyone's walls.
That 17 elimination game to qualify was definitely memorable from Aspect, but Arkram 1X also had a memorable performance yesterday in the duo finals. We're gonna go ahead and catch up with him on the floor.
Dominant performance from Arkram for sure. Standing next to me here, another one of the most talented. I mean, I say this over and over again. It's because I'm surrounded by the best Fortnite players literally in the entire world. Definitely one of them here, repping the NA West. Over there, a lot of psycho players. Now, Arkram, you qualified for the World Cup in the first week of duos and in the last week of solos. Your preparation for both of these things definitely is very different. How have you prepared in comparison to yesterday, claiming that 5th spot, which was unbelievable, guys? Preparing for solos today is very different. How have you strategized for this?
Well, I try to prepare my mentality a lot better than yesterday, and I know what it's going to be like going in today, other than like tomorrow, because yesterday was like my first time playing at a LAN. Yeah. So I know what I have to do, and I know what I'm going to do to try to win today.
Absolutely. Well, that composure is everything, right? I mean, that can really help you dominate in that way. Now, again, repping NA West out there in LA for me. Listen, Your qualification both in duos and solos, you're the only person from NA West that was able to do that. What do you have to say to the rest of the West?
I mean, like, if you guys get a brain on the West Coast, I mean, like, it'll be a lot easier, you know, but otherwise, yeah, that's all you gotta do.
We gotta get a brain. Okay, I'm gonna come to Arkham School. Back to you guys on Unreal Island.
Well, I might also go to Arkham School. That was definitely interesting there.
Could say Galaxy Brain there from Arkham, you know, just get a brain going on there looking to represent. But now the final group of competitors, it will be Sosman, Moffat, Andretta, Crew, Light, Mongrel, MQ, Teak, Blacks, and Skite.
I like the little dab there from Blacks. Absolutely incredible. Again, remember, these are the guys who qualified in the final week. And I do have to point out, Andretta was one of the players who did so. What an amazing performance it was. One of the few players who was streaming his final week, and he did it in an amazing fashion.
Winning 3 out of his first 5 games. He actually took a moment after that on the stream, kind of you could see him deep breath in, deep breath out, and kind of know he had it. He kept pushing forward. We got to see Crew yesterday, had some highlight reel plays, but wasn't quite able to push into the top 10. Going to want to do that today. But Bala, you know on this list who I want to talk about right now, right?
Yes, I do.
Let's hear it. What do you got for Mr. Mongrel himself?
Mongrel. What more? I mean, there's literally so much. I could talk about this guy forever. One of the most mechanically skilled players I have ever seen. So fast with his decisions. You really can't keep up. Sometimes I even have to watch him in slow motion because it's just so ridiculously fast.
And you could see his reactions on the camera, how much he cares, how much he is invested, how much he wants to be the best of the best, just as does Skite, the player from the stream, overcoming tendonitis in his wrist, qualifying through. We're gonna throw it down to the floor with Jordan and a translator to catch up and hear what Skite has to say. Jordan, take it away.
Standing next to Skite here, dealing with tendonitis is a very, very big thing, especially ahead of a competition of this caliber. How have you prepared physically going into today?
Avec un concours de cette nature, il y a beaucoup évidemment d'ambition et de comment est-ce que vous gérez un peu la situation?
Je m'entraîne et j'essaye de pas stresser et je reste concentré en jouant.
I train, I try not to be too stressed out, and I just, you know, think about the game.
Understood, as you should. Now you have a lot of LAN experience and a lot of success in online tournaments as well. Your preparation for today, knowing that you're going up against a bunch of the best players in the world, regions all over the world, how are you strategizing for solos today?
Tu es un des meilleurs joueurs du monde, tu as beaucoup d'expérience, etc. Mais en même temps, ça c'est une compétition nouvelle. Comment est-ce que tu t'es organisé pour la stratégie de cette Coupe du Monde?
J'essaie juste de jouer mon jeu et de pas stresser. Et j'essaie de m'adapter à la méta actuelle. Et voilà.
I try not to stress out, I try to sleep well, eat well, and I try to think how I'm going to really play the game.
Lovely, and that allows you composure, right? Then you can dominate. Love it, Skype. Back to you guys at Unreal Island.
Thank you so much, Jordan and Skite. Skite, originally known for his Winter Royale performance where he was top the qualifier, top the semifinal, and then top the final. It put him on the map, and now he's here competing on the main stage, which is set for everyone who is here. But all of you guys at home, make sure you're using Fortnite.com/watch. Go check the website out. It is a more kind of tailored viewing experience. There's the ability to unlock additional items in-game. And on top of that, for somebody who's super analytical, there's a map stream. There's an individual player stream. You want to see the spotlighted players, T-Fewer Dubs, they'll be on there. You want to see the best players from Asia, they'll be on there. Best players from Brazil, they'll be on there. Make sure you go and utilize this tool, whether you're trying to get better at Fortnite or just want to watch what you want to watch. We want to give you every possible potential way to increase your viewing experience, and let us know if there's anything else you want added in there. We're always looking to improve because we're lining in stats. We got the map. I mean, what more could you want as an analyst, Paula?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely going to check it out when I get home. I'm going to go back and watch those because I need to see every little detail for some of these guys who are going to perform on this stage. It's going to be crazy. And I can't wait to do that.
I mean, this is what is going to allow these guys to push up into the prizing. I mean, just look at some of those numbers. Of course, everyone who made it here, $50,000 going through. But once you push into that top group, you'll start seeing a little bit of a pay bump. But ultimately, at the top, it's about the $3 million. It's about being the best of the world and being crowned the world champion solo baller. This is what it's all about.
This is what it's all about. We're moments away from getting inside the stage and getting ready to launch the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition.
100 of the best players, every single one is be here. Are you ready for the Fortnite World Cup Finals? Let's start the show!
What's up, Fortnite World Cup? How we feeling today? Come on! Let me see everybody's hands up, come on! How's everybody feeling today? Make some noise. If you know this, let me hear you sing it. Let's go. Hey, I work hard every day. I work hard every day. But today is my day. It's my day. And no matter what they say, it's my day. La 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 la. Hey, let me see those hands up. Come on. Yo, I just want to say thank you to Fortnite, thank you to Epic Games for having me out today. If you guys know this next song, let me hear you sing along. Let's go.
Lately, I've been thinking I want you to be happier. When the morning comes and we see what we've become. In the cold light of day, we're a flame in the wind, not the fire that we begun. Every argument, every word we can't take back. 'Cause with all that has happened, I think that we both know the way that
did the story end?
Sing it if you know it.
Then only for a minute, I want to change my mind, 'cause this just don't feel right to me. I wanna raise your spirits, I want to see you smile. No, that means I'll have to leave. No, that means I'll have to leave. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier, I want you to be happier. When the evening falls, and I'm left there with my thoughts, and the image of someone else was eating me up inside. But we ran our course, we pretended we're okay. Now if we jump together, at least we can swim far away from the wreck we made.
Come on.
Then only for a minute, I want to change my mind, 'cause this just don't feel right to me. I wanna raise your spirits, I want to see you smile. No, that means I'll have to leave. No, that means I'll have to leave. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier, I want you to be happier. So I'll go.
I want to see everybody's phone flashlights out right now.
I will go.
Everybody put your phones up right now. Put your phones up right now. Put them up. Everybody follow me like this.
Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier, I want you to be happier. Even though I might not like this, I think that you'll be happier, I want you to be happier.
Let's go.
Then only for a minute, I want to change my mind, 'cause this just don't feel right to me. I wanna raise your spirits, I want to see you smile. No, that means I'll have to leave. No, that means I'll have to leave. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier, I want you to be happier. So
I just want to say thank you again to Fortnite, and good luck to all the players today competing. Have a good day. Thank you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Marshmallow! I tell you, I've opened up for a few DJs in my career, by far the best one, hands down. Guys, this is incredible stuff here. I'm Golden Boy, your host, and this is the moment that we have been waiting for. 10 weeks have culminated to this point right here in New York City, Arthur Ashe Stadium, this packed house. Ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves a round of applause for being here with us today. Without you, this is not possible. But now it's all about these players up on this stage. And this right here, the trophy and the title of being the Fortnite World Champion. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited. I want to get into these games as soon as possible, but I think we gotta ramp up the excitement just a little bit more.
no pain, no gain, no guts, no glory. I'm a one-man army, can't a one-man harm me. Ain't a weapon formed against me, and you already know the rest, so you know your best ain't gonna stress me. If you the best, I'm the next thing. You can do it too.
When you think about what's at stake here for these players, so much on the line. And we crowned 2 Fortnite World Champions yesterday, but that was duos competition. And today, these people are riding solo and it's about that trophy, being able to raise this right in front of everyone here in New York City and walking away with $3 million in prizes. History will be made, lives will change. Now, I know that you guys want to hear from some of our players as well, and there's one player in particular that I think each and every person in this arena wants to hear from. Jordan, who do you got?
The legend, the man, the myth, TQ! I want my vest back, by the way. Guys, standing next to me, I mean, you guys know him. He needs no introduction. He's pretty decent at the game of Fortnite. He's like fine, I guess. I don't know, 1v1 man creative. We'll see what happens, right? Knowing that you're as good as you are, right, and your skills, your gifts, your game sense, your speed, your dexterity, your precision, all of these things that I'm sure a lot of people are very fearful of, there are a lot of incredibly young, gifted talents that are up here on the stage right now from all over the world. How do you prepare for all of these different game styles?
Basically, how I prepare is just stream to all of my beautiful viewers, and you know, they stream snipe me, and I get rushed by like 30 people every game, so if I can handle that, then I can handle anything, right?
I have seen it happen in real time. It's insane. I don't know how you deal. I mean, you've got a long way, you know, to get to the end, but obviously vying for that #1 slot. How was your strategy working out going into your drop spot today? Your rotation, are you going to be flexible? What are your thought processes going into today, knowing that you're up against some of the best players in the world?
My drop spot's pretty good, you know. I have some people contest me, but I just lay them out and then move on from there.
Lay them out, move on. 350 pie, there it is, from the man himself. Back to you, GB.
Thank you once again, Jordan, for that. Now we're going to get into the games in a few moments here. Yesterday we hyped up nicely, and I think we could do it again. This is it. This is for this community right here, whether you're watching them at home, whether you're here with us in New York City, ladies and gentlemen, in the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Let me hear you. No. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let us hear you loud and proud. This is the Fortnite World Cup Finals, and let's send it over to your casters for the first set of games. It's Courage and Dr. Lupo.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. The Fortnite World Cup Finals Solos competition kicks off today, and I could not be more excited. I'm still sweating from the marshmallow performance we just saw, but
absolutely,
Dr. Lupo, this is going to be a darn good time.
100 of the best solo players the world has ever seen in Fortnite are today playing for $15 million. And Jack, first place takes home $3 million, which is the largest individual prize for any player in esports ever up until this point. You realize that?
And that's
that is ridiculous.
It's a pretty long history. Lives will be changed today, as we know. It's been happening throughout the weekend, and we've seen the best competitors in the world go up in creative, obviously in the Pro-Am, in the solos or duos competition, and now it is time for solos. We're gonna go through the format, the prizing for everyone at home so you can get caught up to speed. Millions tuned in throughout the weekend so far, and even more we'll be watching here today. So Ben, I want to break down these rules for everyone at home. It's not your normal Fortnite game we're gonna be playing.
Oh, no, it is not, especially if you've watched any competitive gameplay over the past. On your screen right now is the format. This is solo, so the top 25 placement will get you 3 placement points. Top 15 is 5. If you make it all the way to top 5, that's 7 points. And that coveted victory royale, of which there will only be 6 today, is worth 10 points. But on top of that, it's not just about placement. Every single elimination is an additional point. Those are going to add up, and we're going to see exactly how things play out over 6 games. Now, those 6 games, we add those scores up. Jack, what's the take-home? I know, just read it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, first place today wins $3 million US. If you get second, third, or fourth, your prize money you're winning is also above the 1 million mark. Hey, I wouldn't be too upset with 5th place either at 900 grand, but you see, top 20 all earn $112,500 or more. And guess what? Just because they made it here today, everyone on the stage will win $50,000 for their efforts across the last few months of competition. But I can tell you the prize money is sweet. It's great going up against the best in the world, but that right there, the coveted trophy on your screen and the title of Fortnite World Champion, the first ever solo World Champion, is what's on all these players' mind.
You have to remember, too, over the course of the 10 weeks of qualifiers, we had 40 million players throw their name in the pot to try and make their way to the top 100 here in New York City. And of those 100, only one gets first place. Only one takes home the trophy. And I'm going to say this is mine just from watching him play over the last few days. Duos didn't go exactly how he wanted things to go, but I'm looking forward to seeing Benji Fishy rise above and just put on a good show for everybody. He's an excellent player. One of the best mechanically we've ever seen. His awareness is insane. What about you? Who do you have, Jack?
There's so many talented players. You know, we've been comparing drop spots. We've been comparing how they performed yesterday. We talked about LAN experience and how much the nerves can get to them. Arkroom is someone that showed up yesterday on stage, performed quite well, placing in the top 5. I think that today, with where he's dropped at, who he's going to be going up against, he could put on a good showing, but we want to hear your guys' thoughts as well. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Send us your thoughts. Who do you predict to win? We've also talked to many of the people here in the venue about who they've got coming out on top. Let's take a look.
My prediction for the Fortnite Solo World Cup Finals winner is Ghost Bizzle.
My picks to win solos has got to be this guy.
Better.
I feel like Young Calculator or Clicks is gonna win.
I want to see Benji Fish take the damn solos.
Tifu's gonna win. Tifu's gonna win.
It's gonna be between Clicks and Tifu, so it's gonna be Clicks though.
Probably Bizzle, because he has the most experience.
I think Bizzle has a good chance.
En solo, je dirais Bouga, je pense.
Tifu's gonna win.
Fact Fox.
Je pense que la solo, c'est Benji Fishy qui va gagner.
Bizzle is just the most consistent player, and he's at the top right now, so I'd say Bizzle.
I'd probably say Bizzle too, because he has a lot of LAN experience and all that.
My prediction for the Solo World Cup champion is Dubs.
People continuing to pile on in here to the Arthur Ashe Stadium live from New York City. Dr. Lupo, our games are almost ready to kick things off, but there's so many ways you can watch this weekend. Obviously, your normal streaming platforms, but a new initiative as well from Fortnite, a new way to watch on Fortnite.com/watch. There's some unique stats, as well as all sorts of feeds you can watch from. It's a viewing experience with real-time stats at different points of view in game. Head to Fortnite.com/watch and choose from this channel a dedicated map channel and 10 rotating options covering a selection of diverse players. You see there on your screen exactly who will be brought on up. If you want, feed 3 features Tifu, a player spotlight. If you're repping the Oceanian region and you want to see the Twins play, you want to see Twins play, there you go. You've got your dedicated feed as well. An awesome thing to see for the future of competitive Fortnite.
It's absolutely amazing, but Jack, everybody here wants to see the first game, and I've got good news. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition is about to begin. If you are here at Arthur Ashe Stadium, I need you to get as loud as you possibly can. 100 of the best players in the entire world are about to face off for $15 million. Jack, guess what? 100 players, the battle bus is loaded, 6, 5, 4, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Game 1 of 6 officially underway, and on your screen, all 100 players. Arguably the biggest day of their entire lives. The average age of competitors, just 16 years old. If you're a younger fan here in the audience, you dream of one day being here. If you're the same age, you look to your peers as people to look up to and aspire to be as good as one day. If you're a parent, I'm sure you can imagine what's going through these kids' minds. Here we go, folks. Tifu on your screen. Block has been his place forever, Dr. Lupo, and he is not shying away here in game number 1.
I had a chance earlier during warm-ups just talk to Tifu about this landing zone. The opinion was basically, I don't care who else lands here, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna clear out every other opponent there and roll on through. He's got a chance to go up the hill potentially for ballers if those remain uncontested. He has a free legendary chest right here in the middle. And look at the inventory already. Blue pump shotgun, gold tactical AR, gold standard AR, a mini bandages. He's got brick for days here. The resources are incredible.
Yep.
A loadout already. He just needs some mobility. Maybe drop one of the ARs depending on ammunition at a certain point. Gotta find some shadow bombs. Even the redeploy might be worth it. We'll see if he swaps out. He actually puts down that tac AR and grabs a purple grenade launcher.
And the zone right there as well.
Oh my god.
Only one other player landed here. That's Clipnode. So it's going to be Tfue versus Clipnode for control of the block, unless Clipnode decides to say,
rotate away.
I've got a lot of respect for that gameplay. He knows block as well. Clipnode always landing here too. Will go ahead and fall away. And folks, I think as a sign of respect for Tfue as a player, they have forfeited the rest of block to this man, as he's already at 190 total HP and a fantastic inventory. Rotating here towards Fatal Fields. Class on your screen. Bucky there as well. Class currently with a little bit of a mixed inventory, but this is what we talked about yesterday. If you play Fortnite, you know that in the Fatal Fields core maze, there is loot. Well, guess what?
Just floor spawns all over.
Typically, you and I, I'm sure, Ben, break all the corn down.
100%.
We farm it on up. These players know the exact route of where the loot is while it's hidden in the corn because they've studied this area of the map so much. It's the little things that make the biggest differences. Class right now looting, and no one has any clue where he is.
Bucky in the long barn, grabbing. There's 2 chests spawn here, plus any of the floor loot possible along the way on little side stalls. So quite a bit of wood to farm up. He's got a couple little forests. He's got the fork knife quarry there, plus the ship up top. He can take that slip all the way to the top. He's got an opportunity to travel basically uncontested early game unless somebody maybe gets a couple shots from a distance. Meanwhile, over here at Mega Mall, Pika and Keenstar hanging out inside the shops. Quite a few chests, a lot of verticality inside. Tends to lead to audio-based fights. Try and figure out whether your opponent is above or below, and how much these players play. If they're keen on those audio cues, they'll know almost immediately.
Rotating now down to Lucky Landing. Boog on the screen. Snazy there as well. First stink bomb coming on through. Doesn't actually wind up connecting with too much. 16 builds in total. Now remember, we do play with siphon settings on. So if you get an elimination, you earn 50 HP. So if you're at 74 total health, you'll gain 26 HP to go to max and 24 shield. Also, when you get the elimination, even if the opponent has 0 materials, they'll still drop 50 of each material type. So there's a lot of, especially early game reward, Dr. Lupo, in securing some of these eliminations.
Now Snazy right now with the top down on his opponent. It looked like he's trying to use the stinks and that proximity grenade launcher just to try and find even one hit. Which at this point with such low ammunition, he's out of stinks now. He still has the 3 proxy grenade launcher shots. He's kind of burning through resources.
I was going to say, he sees those grenades. I was thinking exactly that, yep.
Well, just trying to find a bead at this point. He knows based on the audio, Bugga is rotating back and forth in this little brick tunnel underneath. No tags quite yet, minus a little bit of HP with Stink earlier. Snazy still has the high ground here. Not a ton of materials, 18 builds. At some point, he's going to have to opt to either push this or rotate away, and now might be the time to rotate away, unless Bugga's going to push from behind. We'll see here. Big up.
Oh, wait, actually,
not
no,
even an upgrade. Never mind, he already has a gold combat number 4 slot there. Snazy, Bugga separating from each other a little bit, not necessarily pressuring. Early game pressure at game 1 of 6 for World Cup solos would be could be pretty advantageous to get that siphon. He's looking for a shot, the heavy snipe. Where it goes, and not quite enough. Bugga misses just behind as Snazy sneaks away to the higher floors of that north side building in Lucky.
Yeah, Bugga winds up seeing that middle cherry blossom tree get knocked down, and a lot of times in competitive games, players will just hit the trees down to 50 total HP left, but they won't fully remove them from the map because the animation of the tree breaking gives away your position. So if you want to make sure you stay a little bit more hidden in your games at home, only break trees down to 50 total health left and leave them. You'll get a ton of materials, but you'll also still remain as hidden as possible. Benji Fishy, a player with very high expectations for not only himself, but from the community here this weekend. Did play yesterday, I believe placed 14th with his duo, Mr. Savage. The first stink bomb comes on through, and with that damage, it looks like Benji Fishy wants a fight, but unfortunately does take 50 immediately from the back, and will go ahead and just give up his position for the moment.
A little bit of frustration on his face, and I can't blame him. Shots as he's attempting to push a little bit on Nate right there. Pleasant Park still inside the safe zone, so moving away from this doesn't have to happen just yet. We'll see. Nate takes an opportunity, rotates all the way across to that treehouse building in the southwest corner. Meanwhile, southwest of the entire map, Crew not alone down here. A little bit of a build fight back and forth, and they are not inside the zone. 91 players remain right now. Only 9 have gone down. It's early in the game. It's going to stay very, very high in the player count. Crew maybe waiting to see if that edit comes through. Doesn't quite. Storm waiting inside. We see this all the time. Just holding the edit inside the pyramid. Yep. He doesn't want to step out, potentially get shot. Rotate back down underneath and maybe check his other sides. Meanwhile, King led Wiki in a 1v1. King on the defensive. At this point, he might have the high ground. Oh my gosh. Sneaks the shotgun shot in right before the ramp can go down.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
no. And you see King, a little bit of a smirk right there yesterday when we had a little bit of a, maybe I guess you could say trash talk in the game. It was Skeptic who winds up going down to Mongrel Mitro. This time I think King will live to see another fight, but ooh, I like some of this little spiciness to kick off game number 1. He wins that fight with a quick wall retake and edit on through. Over to Neo Tilted, Creo, Hornet, and Clicks, currently within a couple buildings of each other, and you see on your screen on the backside, Lecce, Maw, and Mongrel still there as well.
Flight Noise rotating through, looks like on a ball on the backside. Real quick, we'll put the replay up of exactly how that played out. Storm here, stuck inside that box just moments ago. Oh, full send into the air and does catch the shots there. The burst SMG proving useful even midair.
Burst SMG, probably not the exact item that players want, but still making use of it. Uh-oh, it's a corn fight. Dr. Lupo, you're used to this in Nebraska, as right now we've got
like home for me, Jack.
Yeah, this is, I mean, you've got a ton of skill in this one. As we see Rogue Shark currently dropping down the bandage for the moment. Already the ramp goes through, and Rogue Shark just wasn't ready for it. So if you didn't catch what happened right there, Dr. Lupo, quick little breakdown. The campfire was placed, he lost control of his wall, but because he had no pyramid inside his box, the opponent placed a ramp and then edited past the ramp for extra cover. It's one of the fastest but most effective ways to take out an opponent when they're inside their 1x1. Left Eye did just get an elimination. Does use that shockwave to get away from Erouse, but solid start as well, and I believe I did just see a fan favorite in Vivid in the elimination feed picking up his first elim.
Storm starting to move. We have 56 seconds. My apologies before the next circle closes, and it is a big crunch to the center of the map. You might not be able to see in the bottom right there, but folks, it is just northeast centered from Neo Tilted. Everyone is going to get pushed together into the city. Let's see here. Dubs, confident play, trying to push from the outside of Flintlock from his opponent to rotate away, and Dubs does not want to let them go. 46 back-to-back hits, and he can't find a bead on Evil Mare. Goes down out here at the old Greasy Grove Ice Lake.
And you see Evil Mare with still just in total about 80 HP. Got the 50 back for the elimination, so when you calculate it, really only had about 30 health left, so Dubs so close, but not able to connect with that final combat shotgun shot. And Dr. Lupo, look at this inventory for Riverson for Team Liquid. 6 shockwave grenades, 2 minis, 3 chug splashes, a launch pad. Weapons a little bit awkward, if I'm going to be honest, just a scoped assault rifle and a Epic tactical shotgun, but Storm Surge is coming to play, and Dr. Lupo, we haven't really touched on that yet today. Inform the viewers at home as to exactly what this is.
So Storm Surge is a mechanic to prevent players from potentially sitting and not engaging in fights. If there are a certain number of players at this point, when there's over 70, when the circle closes, people are going to start to take 25 damage every tick. That's every 5 seconds, unless they are over the threshold for the amount of damage done in the lobby. It's a way to encourage players to get engaged in fights without having to force anybody. You can't really just sit still the entire time. You've got to get engaged, get involved with what's going on.
And it ends when we go below that threshold. As we bring up this first threshold, you have to drop below 70 players. So Storm Surge will remain in play right now until 69 players is reached. You see Booga with an elimination, Blaster with one as well. Players above the damage threshold sitting pretty right now, but players who are below it, they're frantically searching for some damage they can do to try to get themselves in a safe spot.
Aqua on your screen, one of the World Cup duo champions from yesterday. Just outside of EDDY shots inside here. Colorful trying to rotate back away. Doesn't want to quite get caught just yet. Those splashes, by the way, one of the best healing items in the game right now in scrimmages and competitive Fortnite. An instant throw 20, and it's HP or shield. It'll transfer across both. May not be able to get this off quite yet. It's got to cancel.
He did.
Oh, he did indeed. Yep. Kurtz applying pressure from the side. Not a lot of ammunition right now in the inventory. Only 70 medium rounds for that heavy AR. Not the favorite for a spray weapon. Great at tap fire at a distance, though.
Look at how dead center this zone is in the bottom right of your screen. Mr. Savage did just get an elimination down on him often. Mr. Savage still alive in this one, looking to bounce back from yesterday. I know Mr. Savage wasn't too happy with the final performance. Kurtz still, we saw the player piece on him from Brazil, trying to rep for his family. Class elimination there as well onto Twins. And Storm Surge is now active. The player's still above, so people will begin taking damage, and that's a solid chunk with that common tactical shotgun. But another player begins to throw their name into the hat. Doc Uvo Kurtz, no more shield left. We'll back up for the moment.
At this point, with the circle where it is, we've got 60 seconds before things start to close, and I would say maybe a third of the field is still outside of the next safe zone. You're going to see a lot of players pushing to Loot Lake. You have to realize, if you're watching at home, if you're here at Arthur Ashe Stadium, competitive Fortnite is very much about late game strategy and positioning. 74 players right now remaining does not surprise us in the slightest, to be honest, especially with how much money is on the line. Harrians goes down. Start picking up that one, but not enough damage dealt. You see the Storm Surge. 2 more players need to get eliminated.
I think he just got a buff now as players began to drop. So Wakey went down to the Storm. Skype with an elimination onto Astonish. We are 1 player away from the end of Storm Surge, and there it is as we just hit the threshold. So now no more panic has to come through for these players for the moment. The next one will come into play in a couple more zones as Keenstar right now, the double qualified player from France, currently set on up against Envy's Bucky as they are within a couple boxes of each other.
Just to see exactly where things move through here. Just want to hold these edits and look out. No reason to apply too much pressure just yet. He's kind of waiting to see other players that may be around him rotating away, and that's exactly the play. Bucky, by the way, a player that we've seen competitive qualifiers. He actually spent some time talking to Hogman a lot to refine his gameplay and his drop, and we've seen a big improvement since then. Quick shout out to Hogman for helping Bucky out with that one. All the way here to the World Cup solo finals.
Will he use one of the campfires in the inventory for 25 extra health?
It depends on the play. If he's looking towards late game, he's going to try and hold on to those for a heal off potentially when that final zone starts to close. We'll have to see. A quick reminder, by the way, on the right side of your screen, a victory royale. The win is worth 10 placement points. Those are big. Top 5 is 7 points. Top 15 is 5. Top 25 is 3 points, and every single elimination for these players is an additional point. We go, the focus of the current map right now. A lot of players out here on the hill. Northeast side of Neo Tilted, actually a pretty good spot. You have multiple slips nearby. While those are still on, you have to remember those do turn off. Sky picking shots, I believe that's on DRG just to the south. More pressure applied there. He's trying to sneak any shot he can through. Actually, it's challenged. Surprises me, doesn't go for the build there to protect and get a better spot.
Wow, that's solid damage though.
Just go for it.
Solid damage, and look what's also on the ground right there. The legendary infantry rifle. Still can swap to that when needed. Right now, choosing to go with the spray weapon. This is a player that's close. We have a replay coming on in soon of Mega from FaZe, who played yesterday in the duos competition with Dubs. Dubs already dropped his cable. See how Mega plays this one. Gets to the opponent's box. 2 clean shots. And there it comes through, and near max materials, Slurp Juice as well as Chug Splashes will be sitting pretty with the inventory right there. The next zone did just pop on up, moving to kind of the eastern side of the current zone. And what we're seeing right now from Skype is Skype recognizes he's got extra materials back, so he's gonna run back, build out a little bit, grab the excess materials, and continue to tunnel with these mats. He's also juggling items over as well to still have the ability to use these whenever he would like to wish to in these next zones. Here's everyone on the map, a rocket being fired on the far side. Bizzle there, still on your screen. Commandment, Epic Whale. Prisionero still boxed up in metal just outside the zone, and Stompy, who was one of the more dominant European players in the online qualifier, still in this one, but Zayt was in the lead with Stats yesterday, 5 of the 6 games, but in the end, not able to close it out. As you see, just continuing to spray, is above the damage threshold. This next threshold of players, Dr. Lupo, 50. So we're about a minute away before it activates. Bizzle with elimination, though, down on the Stacey.
At this point, too, you have a lot of players. Crunch is going to start to happen. Player count starting to dwindle. The loadout here in Zayt's inventory, a single Shadow Bomb going to be used for rotation if he has to. Not quite yet, though. He's already in the next safe zone. That heavy sniper rifle we just saw moments ago, and he'll probably go for it again. He's going to knock out a wall and immediately swap to that legendary AR to try and take shots while the wall is gone, while the player may not be paying attention. This could be a big one right here. Immediate swap, a 69 shield pack, solid crit through the wall. They do box up, but it looks like at that moment he saw the box was being pressured from another player and decided to go for it.
Keep in mind,
here we go.
Keep in mind, no healing for Zayt, so you can see just how cautiously he's taking these fights.
Oh yeah.
Also today in solos, there's no longer the threat, Dr. Lupo, of the double heavy sniper. Sure, we've seen solo players try to use it to their advantage by themselves, but it just is not the same effect. Lolboom, bottom right of your screen, Zayt, top left of your screen, both with 2 eliminations so far, and here comes Storm Surge for players pushing on in. Not a threat for Lolboom as he's 409 above, but Karhu did just go down to that Storm Surge, so an unfortunate game number 1 there, and ooh, some free shockwave grenades to pick up. Dr. Lupo will be extremely useful in these rotating zones, and oh man, Lolboom is eating the stink bomb. 50 damage, Dr. Lupo. Terrible, terrible spot to be in for Lolboom.
Lolboom, a solo Irishman, qualified for the World Cup here. Gonna have to push on through and try and make his way to the next safe zone. Multiple ballers on the outside. He might be able to grab that one in the water right there if he sees it when he pops out. After we can see Vivid on your screen. Evil Mare still there as well. Saw him rotating in. Multiple ballers still on the field.
Look at that build.
Look at the, yeah.
Oh
This is like a Fortnite World Cup apartment complex. You have countless players stacked in next to each other. Bizzle going for the edit reset, can't quite catch himself just yet.
Uga's still making plays happen. A lot of people have him high up on the leaders, and here it is again. Yarkos with the elimination from earlier on, down onto Aqua, who obviously was our Fortnite World Champion yesterday in duos. Rough start in game number 1. Bizzle, one of the most consistent and winningest Fortnite pro players of all time, Dr. Lupo. When you say a veteran in Fortnite competitive, Bizzle is at the top of that list, but here's Yarkos again, now on the high ground after that first elimination down onto Aqua, looking for more right now as he's got ultimate high.
This is one of the best spots in the game right now. We'll have to see where the map is going to rotate, in north-northwest, so he's going to have to make a move soon. A very hefty weapon loadout. Not a whole ton of rotation. Does have the 2 launch pads, does have the redeploy, but those are going to leave you exposed up in the air. Little look back, King. Rotation here. The feed starting to light up. 38 players.
Oh yeah.
And that count is going to go down, down, down. Zayt eliminated by Left Eye. Colorful taking up another one out as well. King, 4 eliminations. You have to remember, placement points don't kick in until top 25, so he only has those 4. But those are 4 very, very big points. Here we go, the Storm starting to pressure players. You're gonna see a lot of launch pads and redeploys coming to play, and those community movement mechanics like launch pads placed on the ground can be tough. A player actually just flew right through King's box.
That could have been bad, Dr. Lupo. That could have been real bad.
Maybe a trap play from either player. We'll have to see here. Benji Fishy in the feed taking another elimination. Top 35 now, Jax. We're coming 30 seconds away from the next circle.
And Mr. Savage trying to contest Rux for height as they both continue to build on up. Mr. Savage goes for the shot. Rux gives it up for the moment. So game 1 right now, the height goes to Mr. Savage, but there's still a ton of time left. On the low ground right now, you've got Pika week, Class week, Fledermoy's week, Tuesday week as well. Mr. Savage has shot down Rux for the moment. He still continues to keep height. Yarkos, though, looking to challenge right now. 27 players left. Placement points about to come into play.
Yarkos takes the ultimate high in the backside there. Riverside from Team Liquid flying across right to left of your screen. Multiple players. Ultimate low ground warriors down there, both in and out of ballers. Class looks like he might be a campfire in the middle of it. Mr. Savage.
King had 7 limbs and has made it into placements. King absolutely the #1 performance so far in game 1. 120 in total HP. Can he find this a limb? No! As the crowd erupts. Top 20 now, though, but King got the job done. There was 27 players left, Dr. Lupo. King eliminates the last 2 to make it a top 25 for the placement points.
Huge plays there. Waylon Kurtz going down to the feed. What a shot and a quick edit swap there. Bugha showing why he's one of the most active.
Top 15.
Players. Top 15. Meg with an elim. Your feed in the top left. One of the most important things to watch if you're looking for players' names. Here he's gonna have to wait and bait players out. Movement now. Here it is, the Shadow Bomb for rotation. He's still got 2 more in his inventory, which this late in the game is huge. He does have the 3 shockwave grenades as well, in case height needs to be taken, or even a long-range rotation. 8 players remaining, Jack Yarkos. 4 eliminations, everyone in here getting those placement points. Beam from above and goes down. No builds, gonna be tough there. Psalm picking up that elim. Bugha though, 5 right now moving forward.
But not only that, 2 Shadow Bombs left, still with shockwave grenades too. The #1 point we've seen in competitive Fortnite this weekend, when do you use the shockwave to go for height? It's Psalm currently on height. Bugha sees that. That was him taking a look for exactly where the player is. I think it's time, Dr. Lupo. No, Shadow Bomb will be used. Okay, so not quite doing it yet.
Looking for a high ground.
Yeah, I was looking to see.
He's saving those. Don't you worry. I guarantee before too long, a player like this is going to make plays. Sitting the edge of the storm, the box up. He's going for edit shots. Big hit.
My gosh.
The outside. Bugha picking up his 6th elimination. Creo, Rux, Bugha all on the low ground. Bella EU.
One player to shockwave the height. It's still Psalm up top.
Still got it. Same floor as Creo. 1v1 up top. 1v1 on the bottom. Stuck in the box. Big hits. Back-to-back shots. Bugha picking up another elimination.
Bugha is insane
now. Almost going to be his game to win. We'll see here another one. Can he find the 9th elimination and the first victory royale, the World Cup solos?
Dr. Lupo, it might be time soon. It might be time soon. Bugha smiling. He's got the health advantage on Creo.
It does.
Folks, it might be time for the shockwave play. Bugha can soar up into the sky. Go for it. Here it is. Shockwave to height. Shots coming in. No elimination yet for the first game victory royale.
Oh my gosh. Confident play from Bugha. What a monster. The first victory royale.
The crowd on their feet. Bugha, calm, cool, and collected, wipes out 5 of the last top 6 players for the victory royale. What a swing of points right there, Dr. Lupo. You get the win. You get max placement points. 9 elims too. Folks, that is a statement game #1 for Bugha. And here it is again. The shockwave up. Creo tried to prepare. You see the damage coming on through, but at that point, with that much of a health advantage, Creo stands no shot. What a brilliant ending. Talk about a great late game. Solos absolutely living up to the hype of the duo competition yesterday.
Imagine being in the World Cup finals, and instead of opting for a safe, stay down the bottom and wait, bait your shots, you throw a shockwave down and you ascend to the high ground, take over, and get the victory royale.
Much deserved game 1 victory right there. The #1 thing I noticed from Bugha, in the shadow bombs, so many people worry so much about popping out of the shadow and immediately boxing and protecting themselves. Instead, Bugha winds up pushing forward, looking for where his next victim could be, and then pops out of the shadow and eliminates the player. It happened 3 times right there, and it was big reasons why he was able to push on through. Bugha, an incredible performance. What is that, 19 points in game number 1?
19 points, game number 1.
I don't see how anyone's above that.
At this point, I mean, we're going to take a look exactly to see where
like I predicted
that falls on the leaderboards. No surprise here, a 9-point lead out of game 1. King, 7 eliminations, we saw that earlier. Sadly goes down a little bit before those top couple placements. Psalm, Rux, Yarkos, ton of top tier players across the board right now. But a 9-point lead after game 1 is absolutely incredible.
And you look at the leaderboard right now, a big talk of yesterday, EU versus NA. EU, why so quiet earlier in the day? NA, why so quiet at the end of the day? 8 of the 10 top players after game 1, all from the US. Here's your 11th through 20th place right now. Benji Fishy on there, Evil Mare on there as well. But a fantastic start to today, and I'm loving the energy from this crowd at the first ever Fortnite World Cup. They saw how good the competition was yesterday, and I know everyone was so excited to kick it off today with millions watching online. They saw Booga take game number 1. He's down on the floor with Jordan Fisher.
Booga! Huge first game for the NA player. That's what you want to see. You want a health advantage at the end. 9 elims to cap off an incredible first game. What is your thought process going into the final moments of in-game, right? A 1v1 there at the end, you've got health advantage. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm pretty much low ground. I have like 200 mads, and I realized that I could probably make a play with the impulse, just go for A and just like get a big pump on him.
Amazing. Well, we saw that happen in real time. An amazing clutch for an end of a first game for Booga. Yo, Jack, Lupo, that is exactly what you want to see, is it not?
I mean, I don't think you can really ask for much more than that. A victory royale and 9 elims. The man is so talented, has always been one of the top solo players in the North American region, and he shows it right there in game 1, and already a 9-point lead. Solid stuff.
What an incredible game out of the gate already. Number 1 down. We have 5 left to go. We want to take a look and see exactly how some of those pieces played out, how everything worked, and maybe a little bit of a deep dive into how some of these players play. So we're going to throw it over to Sundown at Unreal Island to take a look.
Thank you so much, Lupo and Courage. And while Booga was able to dominate the rest of the lobby, I want to take a look at one of the other most marquee and aggressive players we saw. He had the entire lobby saying, "Toda salve al rey de Argentina." It is king of 9Z with an incredible 70 elimination run in 20th place. Let's take a look at some of this gameplay. So right away, you'll notice, what is he doing? He's his patented going forward wall replace on land 123. That's going to be the theme of these clips. He doesn't miss his shots, and he's not afraid to flex either. Throwing the donkey laugh out there, throwing him a little love, saying, "I don't care who you are." Now he's sitting on the 4 elims. He's in the box fights, and he's constantly looking to pick up new targets. Replaces the wall from the side, turns around, and picks up a great elimination there onto Bucky in the rotation. But now watch on the spree he's on. 5 elims right now. Cones himself off. Look at this. The player challenges him. He's not building. He's going at him. He says, "If you want to fight me, I shoot first. I am the king." Was able to go, but unfortunately gets caught there in the rotation, but still a brilliant performance from the young Argentinian. He's looking to challenge, he's looking to frag out with the best of the best, putting himself currently sitting in the number 2 spot. He has played so absurdly well in that first game. This is what it's all about. If you can bring your aggression, what you do in the qualifiers, and take it to this stage, and you don't have nerves. If you're like Booga and say, "I'm gonna go." If you're like King and say, "You wanna edit? I'll shoot first. I'll take the 50 health on elim there, and I will take the point in staying in the match." You can wait and watch me dominate. Let's get into match 2, because that first match was insane. Courage and Lupo, take it away, guys.
Sundown, thank you so much. Appreciate the quick analysis of everything that happened in the middle of that game. A lot of action here at the Fortnite World Cup solo competition. This is the last day for the entire event as well. I hope everyone has enjoyed Marshmallow's concert. We have tons of people here in the crowd.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's just been ridiculous, so much fun.
My Italian family was out there, 25 people deep. They've got a full deli layout. Unfortunately, my Aunt Lorraine down in Florida, I know you're watching. Shout out, we love you, miss you. But no, they're all here for their first ever event too. It is an incredible energy in here. And you know, guys in the venue, do you guys want to see another Fortnite World Cup next year? Should we do this again?
I'm thinking, yeah, Jim.
All right, budget's approved, Epic, it's happening. But folks, let's get back into the action. Game number 2 about to begin. Booga, the superstar of game 1, the talk on all social media with the hashtag Fortnite World Cup. What a play. The lobby is ready. The players are ready. Ladies and gentlemen in the venue, are you ready? Game 2 of the solos competition here at the Fortnite World Cup Finals starts right now.
After last game, I have a feeling you're going to see maybe potentially more contested drops and players vying for those points, seeing exactly what can be done now. Booga bringing home 9 eliminations in that first game. think the next two closest were 7-4, then everybody was below that. The Arcos, I think, having 4, King with 7. Going into game 2, yep. Knowing that we still have 5 remaining, knowing that based on the leaderboards from yesterday, that 17 points at one point separated first and last. By the way, a quick note, we can see the mini-map, but I think Tfue, yeah, there it is.
There it is.
I'm pretty sure Tfue has the block all by himself.
No
Again,
one.
Clipnote didn't want to challenge it this time.
No one nearby at all, and also on that map, look at the 2 llamas. Right outside a racetrack, it looks like one player's about to go claim him. Also, Bizzle, who basically lands in Dusty Divot uncontested, I believe already got a llama in this one. So some great movement will be up there for them. Here again, the stats for last match. First place, the Victory Royale, 19 total points because of those 9 elims. Sitting pretty, 5 games away from $3 million.
I have to say, I feel like after one game, seeing an average placement stat of first, that's something I would screenshot just to hold on to. Yeah,
The best player in the world.
I averaged first through all the games that have been played.
Here is Aqua versus Twins Aqua, as we can't stress enough, our Fortnite World Champion from yesterday in duos. Only with a common SMG is Twins, and Pumps being missed left and right from Aqua. And I'm going to tell you right now, Aqua's going to be upset with himself on that one, Dr. Lupo. That was a sloppy fight from both sides. I'm going to say it right now. Those early game fights can be very, very awkward, but we also have the first elimination, what we saw earlier.
Gosh.
And it was Bizzle with the common pistol and then says, here's your reward. A llama that was looking at a nice view from the top of Dusty Divot.
Kovacs out of his mind. By the way, a quick note here. Twins had 46 elims in his qualifying matches. That is so many eliminations to get to this point.
Yeah.
Over 10 games, that's
Insane.
huge.
And most players didn't even get to play the full 10, so you got to think Twins did pop off in his region when it was going on
right
through.
there.
Yep.
2 shadow bombs, already has a flint knock sitting on minis and a pump. Solid early game loadout. Can he pick up maybe one more movement ability, depending on whether or not he wants to keep the flint knock in his inventory. We'll have to see. Still hopefully looking for a slurp at some point. MQ and Mr. Savage not far from each other. Takamura, Clarity G also in Happy Hamlet, my least favorite drop, I'm going to be honest with you, but a lot of these players know exactly where the chests are and know exactly how to get there as fast as they can. And there are so many materials down here. This also is one of the highest chest spawn counts in the entire game. This POI is insane.
Yeah, I believe 29 possible chests or something along those lines. But as MQ says, you know what? Let me roll away for right now. We'll give that to Mr. Savage. Over to Snobby Shores. It's Hornet putting the spray down with that heavy assault rifle. Only 19 AR shots left, Dr. Lupo, so we'll have to use them wisely here. 8 players have dropped so far in the zone. More of a southwestern side zone on this one, so already some good variation between the zones in Game 1 and Game 2. Hornet will continue to move slowly but surely over to Nyx. So again, looking at the map, looks like a lot of players still outside the zone as you'd expect, but they'll begin to rotate on through as the first storm will close.
Boy, plenty of time to make decisions. Force engagement there. The tree disappears, and that drum shotgun spewing shells out. Gonna push inside the box. Can't quite get the wall if the trap was placed. No luck there. Doesn't have one in the inventory. Nyx still trying to apply as much pressure as possible.